The PS Audio Sprout is so much more than just another integrated amplifier. Somehow, PS Audio managed to stuff every imaginable feature an audio enthusiast would be searching for in a modern, simple-to-use box no larger than a book. On the front panel, the Sprout offers a 4-way rotary switch for selecting its built-in phono section, analog inputs, digital inputs, and even Bluetooth for streaming from your phone, tablet, or Bluetooth-enabled computer. To the right of the switch, you will find another rotary volume control, and to the left, a 1/4-inch input for headphones. Everything from the front, including the tactical feel of the positive click in the switches, inspires confidence knowing the Sprout is 100% quality. Speaking of quality, the looks of the Sprout is fantastic. I am a big fan of the design approach, and I like the looks of the top panel covered with the walnut veneer. Bottom line, PS Audio certainly didn't drop the ball when putting together the Sprout, and its fit and finish is second to none. On the business end of the Sprout, you will find no stones were left unturned, even on parts that many manufacturers tend to overlook. Somehow PS Audio managed to skip the typical wall war AC adapter in exchange for a serious plug, giving the flexibility to handle higher quality power cords for those that want to explore those offerings. Digital connections include USB and digital coax, giving enough flexibility for most components out there. If PS Audio had the room, it would have been nice to see optical, but hey, I'm not going to spend the next 15 minutes rambling about something so minor. To the right of the digital connections, the Sprout features a robust analog section, offering both analog inputs and outputs, and a phono section being able to handle moving magnet cartridges. One thing worth noting, the analog inputs and outputs are 3.5mm connectors, so be prepared to grab the necessary cables if you plan on moving in that direction. Last, the Sprout has high-quality binding posts that will handle bananas, plugs, and bare wire. Functionally, the posts could handle spades, but the truth is, there just isn't enough room back there, so bananas will be your best bet. Detailed specifications for the Sprout are found on PS Audio's website, so I won't bore you with all the details. Most importantly, the Sprout delivers 32 watts into 8 ohms and 50 watts into 4 ohms, which really is enough juice to handle most speakers out there. The headphone section is discreet and powerful enough to drive tough loads. The phono section offers a passive RIAA EQ, 40 decibels of gain, and cartridge loading impedance of 47k ohms. Last, the DAC on the Sprout can handle high-resolution files even up to 24,192. Yeah, the Sprout offers so many things a music enthusiast is looking for, and accomplishing this at the launch price of $800 seemed like a fair price considering how capable the Sprout is. Now that the price has dropped to $500, it's safe to say that what was fair has now crossed the line into a genuine bargain. But hey, regardless of the price, what we really want to know is, how does this thing actually sound? PS Audio knows a thing or two about making a record sound right, and within a few tracks off Till the Sun Turns Black, I was sold on the potential of the Sprout's phono section. The top end was clear and controlled without sounding too edgy or brittle. Reminiscent of what I love so much about the lounge, the Sprout's phono section conveys a smooth top end that forgives the sometimes shouty Ortophone 2M Red. At the same time, when dropping the needle on the Foo Fighters' Color and the Shape, the Sprout sprung into action and knew exactly what cymbals are supposed to sound like. Ballsy, with the ability to smash through the mix. Bottom line, the Sprout quickly impressed me with its ability to rock and roll when asked. Trying some large-scale classical, I moved straight for the jugular and dropped the needle on Pines of Rome, believing the Sprout would fall flat on its face when trying to portray explosive dynamics. As the record made its way through the first few movements, the Sprout called my bluff and handled tough passages like an admirable champ. Sure, there wasn't the same gut-wrenching slam as some other combos I have reviewed, but I gotta admit, with only 32 watts, The Sprout gets us much closer to the finish line than you might think, especially when paired with sensitive speakers like the Spatial Audios. Swapping out for Leonard Skinner's second helping, the Sprout kept me engaged with rhythm and drive while delivering accuracy of vocal content. Also impressive, the Sprout was light on its feet, offering fast transient attacks through the midband, and best of all, enough meat on the bones to breathe life into a vinyl collection. Anxious to hear how this little guy handles serious bass dynamics, I swapped out for the Dire Straits right across the river and prepared for fireworks. Without skipping a beat, the Sprout did a great job of rendering fat, punchy throws and offered seriously deep bass that worked very well with the spatials. In fact, the bass was so robust, I had a funny feeling that something under the hood might account for what I was hearing. After a couple of emails, it was confirmed there is a bump around 70 Hz. You know, I can imagine the forum trolls are going to have a heyday with this, but for those of you sensible folks out there that place your faith in New Record Day, I'll be the first to vouch that it sounds great. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll bet this bump in Basstown makes a lot of sense for those that are going to pair the Sprout with bookshelves. So, let's give that a shot. Swapping out the spatials for the Orcas by Blumenstein Audio, I switched to the digital input of the Sprout and queued up some high-resolution files from our friends at HD Tracks in my computer room. Making my way through the first few tracks of Mark Knopfler's Tracker, I knew PS Audio could see the forest through the trees when they designed the Sprout. Dancing together perfectly, the Sprout offered a rich, musical tone through the Orcas that certainly kept these little 3-inch drivers from sounding thin or lifeless. Kick drums sounded fat, and bass guitars sounded rich. Lower mids and mid-bass sounded robust with plenty of meat on the bones. Mark's vocals sounded clear and controlled, and yet had a nice velvety texture added to the lowest notes. Importantly, everything I heard in the digital section of the Sprout was convincing me that not only PS Audio did a great job in voicing the amplifier, they somehow managed to integrate everything quite nicely. Disconnecting the Orcas, I swapped out for the Audience 1 version 2s while stretching the Sprout's legs in the streaming department. Pressing play on Ryan Adams' 1989, I made my way through the album. Like the Blumensteins, the Audience worked very well with the tone signature offered by the Sprout. Never once did the Sprout sound bloated, boomy, or leave me hanging with the likes of LL Cool J. Acoustic guitars sounded full-bodied and rich, offering a velvety tone while retaining enough detail to keep me glued to my seat. In regards to the streaming abilities, while not as refined or impressive as the phono section or high-resolution files, I could easily see myself using the streaming feature to hunt for new artists or leave music playing throughout the house while I do other stuff. Actually, let's be honest here. Besides taking out the trash and changing a couple of diapers, what other stuff am I talking about? Also, the Bluetooth connection was stronger than I expected. I was able to fire up Tidal while leaving my phone in my pocket or worrying about where I was while the music played without skipping a beat. Last, I tried a number of headphones on the Sprout, ranging from Odyssey's LCD-X's, Sennheiser HD100s, and AudioQuest's Nighthawks. All headphones were driven well, and the headphones section on the Sprout is going to be a hidden gem that will surprise most folks. Top-end extension all the way down to the lowest octaves of Basstown were beautifully rendered. The Sprout impressed me enough to really consider this one of the better-sounding integrated headphone sections I've heard, up until we get to the recently reviewed Yamaha AS2100. But yeah, that's $3,000 more than the Sprout, so feel free to do the math. While it's easy to get lost in the gear, and there are so many high-ticket items out there in audio land, it's nice to see that a respected company like PS Audio is offering fantastic products like the Sprout. At $500, it's a no-brainer. Will it replace a $50,000 reference rig? No. But what it will do is give anyone interested in hi-fi a chance to hear high-quality music from just about any avenue they decide to take. Whether it's vinyl, analog, Digital or streaming, the Sprout certainly has you covered. Yeah, regardless of your piggy bank, PS Audio is patiently waiting to connect you to the music.